Hey, what's going on, ladies and gents? This is Penn. Welcome back to the channel. Smack this thumbs up because we're going to be getting straight into the point. Big shout out to the content creators that was willing to do content on the Buzztv Powerstation 6 to where they spoke about things that were different enough to where the end user can make a more educated purchase decision when it comes to this device. All right. So, with that being said, I'm just going to get into it. All right. So, this is going to be my first impressions. We're going to be going over up to this point the pros, the cons. This isn't my official review. This is a new device that is on the market. Now, one of the things that Buzz was marketing when it came to their website here was it's the ultimate streaming and gaming powerhouse. All right. And they specifically state it just isn't a streaming device, it's a game changer. And when I'm looking at all that, I'm like, wow, like they really like they're going in and things like that. And just to quickly show you what I'm talking about, because some of you may have not been up to date in the series, screen share. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. So they sent me the $400 model, 16 gig DDR4. And if you saw my last video, I told you that I had some good and bad news for the gamers, depending on how you look at it. I'm going to be getting into that. All right. They sent me this. And when you read through all of this, there are just key lines or key words that simply stand out more than others. Now it's running the Android 13 operating system. I'm going to get into that. And one of the things that they note is please ensure to connect the P6 directly to your TV. They don't give you a reason why. When you get the packaging for this device, it specifically states do not connect this device to a soundbar or to an AV receiver. Connect it directly to the television using the HDMI cable. It just isn't informing you why specifically. So I'm going to get into this. It runs Android 13. All right. Does Android 13 tvOS support auto refresh rate switching? And based off the results that I found after doing my research, it does not natively support auto refresh rate switching. And what that is let's say you're watching a film and that film was shot in 24 frames per second. We have televisions out here now that's going up to 120 hertz, 144 hertz. So when you play back a film on your TV, it's real critical that it matches the frame rate of what was being shot or what was produced so that you don't get this hitching or this judder effect when you're watching your display. My eyes is real sensitive to that even now because I had OLED panels. Another device that's a competitor to this device, and the reason why it's being compared because it has NVIDIA inside of it. Okay, the NVIDIA Shield 2019 Pro that also does not have native support for refresh rate switching. Guess what? It has application refresh rate switching. Plex, NB, Jellyfin, Kodi. When it comes to the automated refresh rate switching on the Shield in that environment, it works. It doesn't work on this device. Both operating systems don't support it natively. Wholeheartedly understand that. But one device performs better than the other. That is something that Buzz needs to look into. Specifically, these are all, as far as I'm concerned, these are all priority one issues, meaning that they need to be addressed as soon as possible. Because when you're on your website and you're talking about this is the ultimate streaming and gaming powerhouse, then you're going to have to come correct. You're definitely going to have to come correct with someone like me, because I'm not just going to plug it into the TV and give it its praise without telling you exactly what needs to be implemented for this to improve. This is a product, and you're selling it at a price point that is higher than any other product that you might have had in the past. And when all these other options are available out here for the home theater enthusiasts, they're going to be looking at this and saying, okay, now we see why some folks would have been skeptical. All right. So that's something that needs to be addressed. Um, the power is there. They're saying that this Rockchip 3588 dual core is specifically made for game and not streaming. That may very well be the case. It's made to do both, because I showed both. This device at its present time is more geared towards the home theater people that's into gaming, not so much for the ones that's into the local media library or local media server, because you're going to have to do some workarounds to get that functioning. So let me go back to the capture card here. All right. So I'm going to explain that, and I'm going to get to my other point. The fact that Buzz tells you that you cannot connect this sound bar, you cannot connect this to a sound bar or AV receiver, should be a red flag for anyone that's in this space, that's especially investing in their audio and video setup, such as me and others that may be looking at this content. Here's the thing. I did a series of videos that was trying to speak out to both audiences, the gamers and the people that just like to watch content, stream, things like that, because this is a device that combines the best of both worlds, apparently. Okay. Now, that video where I showed you that I got all the Dolby audio codecs working, that was only because I had the Buzz Powerstation 6 plugged directly into my Nakamichi setup. I'm getting a Denon AVR. I'm setting that up sometime next week, the whole system. If you do not have this device plugged into a soundbar or an AVR, and if your display doesn't natively support the audio codecs, such as DTS, DTS HD, and some other stuff, you're not going to get any sound from it. When you play a file, whether you do the decode option, whether you do pass through, it just won't display sound. And I had this with another device. It doesn't, I'm talking about when you plug it directly from the Buzz directly to the TV. I have a Samsung S90C. That's a quantum dot OLED. It got the Dolby Atmos support and all that, but natively, there are some audio codecs that's missing. This is the reason why a lot of people, such as myself and others in a hobby, they prefer plugging their stuff directly into their AVR or their soundbar. It's not just a hub. That's one of the things that's cool about it. It's because they're getting the full audio codec support. So when Buzz is coming out with this thing called Buzz Audio Enhancement, that it's enhancing the listening experience, that's fundamentally awesome. But you have to, it's like you're painting this vivid, beautiful picture, but underneath, there's some core issues that's at play here. And there are. So that's just one of the things that I wanted to address with that. Now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you something. This is going to be for the gamers. We're going back to the gamers. If I go to settings and if I go to device preferences, I go to display and sound. First, I'll show this. I'll show this so you know where I'm getting at with this. Go to my apps because I have my stuff laid out a certain way. I'm gonna show you what I mean. DRM info. Don't need ADA 64 or none of that. You see here. Dimension 1920 by 1080. Da da da. It showed it on the other screen actually, which is cool. Pay attention to that 1920 by 1080, but it shows some other stuff, but that's okay because I'm going to show you now. So you can get, if you are a gamer, you can get 120 hertz. The thing is, you can't do it at 4K. You're going to have to do it at 1080p. That wasn't something that was mentioned on the website. And I tried this when it was hooked directly to my TV. Now it's hooked directly to my capture card. So I'm going to select this. And my capture card should pick it up. And boom, 1920 by 1080p at 120. After the P, we're talking about, the hertz and things like that. That's going to be syncing with your television. It just means that you're going to be able to play games or stream games at 120 frames per second versus 60, which is kind of dated at this point, to be quite honest with you. So that is that. And that's how you enable it. The interface is smoother, more snappier, and it's already snappy by default. And that's going to help your gaming performance. When it comes to certain titles that require it, like online titles, multiplayer, co-op, things like that, or games where you just want that extra frame rate, that is a major plus for the gamers. Buzz, if you can somehow implement a firmware update where you can allow 4K HDR at 120 hertz, that's definitely going to be major for a lot of the gamers that are coming from the Shield environment, because you can't do that natively on the Shield. I don't even think you can do 1080p 120 natively on the Shield, to be quite honest with you. So that's a step in the right direction. All right, that's a step in the right direction. Um, so yeah, for the gamers, that's huge. And it is geared towards more for the gamers at the moment when it comes to home theater. I'm up to date, and I'm gonna go back to the movies and TV process. Remember when I specifically showed you all the audio codecs that it's working, everything's working, right? Whether you have the buzz enhancement audio turned on or off, it's working when you have it plugged directly into your soundbar or your receiver. This is the thing about it. They strongly advise you not to, and I have some information that you may need. I started experiencing, and this was after the video that I had uploaded just yesterday evening. I wanted to watch a TV show on Envy, and I was receiving audio, but I wasn't getting no video. It wasn't the HDMI, because the HDMI works on another device. So I noticed that the screen looked a little bit fuzzy, and I went to my Samsung menu, and it displayed 1080p at 60 hertz. I confirmed it in the Buzztv display resolution, and it was at 1080p also. And I'm like, oh no, this thing's like glitching out on me. First thing I did was I just did a factory reset, because I didn't do that originally when I got the device. And also I swapped out some HDMIs. Between the combination of those two, I wound up fixing it, but I plugged it directly back into my television. Since then, I haven't tested it through my Nakamichi. I'm saying that to say this. It's a reason why they give you in the packaging and on the website, do not plug this into an AVR or a soundbar. They're not stating the reason why. I think they didn't properly test this device. This device was released 6 months to a year early. If I'm being honest, it should have had a lot more quality and control testing. It should have been tested with a variety of configurations, sound bars, and AVRs. And if they've been working with NVIDIA on this, NVIDIA should have been giving them some pointers, and then Buzz should have been doing their own research in the process. Now, I understand not everything is going to be perfect day one. That's why we have content creators and influencers coming out to where they're giving suggestions. They're giving their thoughts and opinions so that Buzz can execute. Does it have a cool design to it? Yes, it does. Is it more powerful than the NVIDIA Shield Pro 2019? Absolutely. Is it more faster than the Shield? Hands down. Does it have a better interface out of the box than the Shield? Yes. Everything is aligning when it comes to this device. Now they just have to go out and execute what me and others are trying to convey online. And these are priority ones until further notice. Until further notice. Some of you are wondering about the Buzztv 6. That's their new IPTV application experience. They provide a premium application for you to connect your premium service through. They do have a function when you hit the down arrow on the remote, and it's called multi-screen. And I think they've been paying attention because I think I've mentioned this before with Buzz and Formula, to where you can watch multiple feeds in the software without having a dedicated multi-viewer as a hardware device. That's not needed in today's time. If you're simply trying to watch sports or live pay-per-views, that's just not needed. That's more for programmers and hustlers. And I have that device. But the multi-screen function in this is grayed out. That's another thing that they have to work. It's like certain things, it's like locked. I don't know, behind the upcoming firmware update, or they haven't like fully tested it out. Some things, that should be available, day one. Whoever purchased a device, that should be instantly available. All right. So that's something that they have to work on. Okay. So yeah. So also you may experience audio dropouts, or rather you have this connected to the television natively or through a soundbar and AVR, and do that at your own discretion, at your own risk. No, I didn't brick my device. It didn't match up. It didn't mess up my Nakamichi. It's clearly something that they did not test, and they're not putting that transparency on their website. They need to accurately list what this device can do on their website. Just going forward. Just going forward. Okay. And that's about it. So for the gamers out there, we're looking on, this is the up and up. It's definitely geared towards the home theater crowd. People that like to play your video games, whether you're streaming, whether you're playing natively, emulation. You can do it all on this type of device, okay? Right now, this is better suited for the gamers. Now, with the movies and TV and all that, when it comes to the audio, things like that, you're going to have to do the workaround that I showed in my video where you go through Kodi, you set that up properly, but you're going to have it connected to your AVR or your soundbar. Unless you have an example where it's a higher end Sony TV model where it supports all of those audio codecs natively through the television. So if you do decide to plug a device to your TV natively, your AVR or your soundbar will still accurately represent the audio information that's playing within that file. Not a lot of TVs do that. Understand. That's why a lot of people prefer to plug it into a soundbar or an AVR natively so that they don't have to worry about that. They're advising you to plug this directly into your TV. The question is, do you have a TV that supports the codecs? That's the big question. And if the question is no, I advise you currently to look elsewhere. If the question is yes, I mean, and then we just have to await the firmware from here. But these things need to be addressed. All right. They need to be addressed. Okay. So conceptually, in terms of what you're presenting, initial things that I saw, I see a few good things, and there's some bad that I address, and they need to be discussed. And that's it. So for those of you that are on the fence, I understand. If you're in the DIY local media scene, if you have a Arvolution, Zadoo, or a Dune, and you're looking to supplement this for streaming, if all you watch is live TV with a combination of your own media library, because you're trying to get away from subscription services, to my understanding, you can put IPTV applications on those devices right now, and they are stable and they run smoothly. My Dune and Zadoo players run those fairly well. What I'm saying is they may not be in the market for this type of device because it needs to be some things that need to be worked on in the background, obviously. But for the price tag, I'll say if you're going to be charging this much money, work on these things specifically as soon as you can. Get this stable, and it's going to be a real life boogeyman. Right now, it's doing this thing for what it can do, but it can be better. That's it. So hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm going to be going in a different direction. I'm going to be heading the audio route, and just going to move on from here. Peace out.